Your brain, that incredible complex organ we rely on, well, it turns out it's actually programmed in ways that can subtly nudge you toward being less healthy, maybe less wealthy, and honestly, sometimes less fulfilled.
Yeah,
We're not talking about some hidden agenda here, but more about deep-seated biological wiring.
exactly.
So today, we're doing a deep dive into this stack of insights that really reveals why this internal programming exists, and more importantly, how we can truly understand it, and maybe, just maybe, work with it instead of constantly fighting against it.
That's the key, isn't it? This isn't really about, self-discipline or just trying harder. It's not another one of those discussions.
Right.
This deep dive, it's about getting under the hood, understanding the fundamental operating system running inside our
Oh,
skulls.
yes, yeah.
And it's an operating system that pretty much evolved for sheer survival, like 200,000 years ago.
Yeah.
It wasn't designed for navigating a world full of credit cards and endless Netflix queues and processed food.
It makes sense.
And the real insight here, I think, is that truly grasping this ancient blueprint, that's the absolute key to effectively, well, hacking it for the world we actually live in today.
Okay, so let's unpack this core conflict then. This thing we all feel inside, what our sources are calling a constant underlying war between two systems, right there in our own brains.
Mm-hmm.
So on one side, you've got system one. I kind of like thinking of it as the brain's instant gratification engine.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
The system is ancient, it's lightning fast, and it
Mhm.
runs almost entirely on getting those immediate dopamine hits. Its whole purpose, evolutionarily speaking, was helping our ancestors make split-second survival decisions, like grabbing food the second they saw it, because who knew if there'd be food tomorrow?
Absolutely. Survival mode.
And that's why even now our system one makes us, compulsively check our phones every few minutes,
Mhm.
or why that gooey cheeseburger can feel almost irresistible right in the moment, even if we consciously planned on having a salad.
And then, sort of contrasting really sharply with that powerful system one, we have system two. You could maybe picture this as the brain's future planning department.
Okay, the long-term thinker.
Exactly. This system is truly remarkable. It allows for delayed gratification, lets us work towards much bigger long-term rewards. But, and this is the critical catch, this is why it's so tough for us.
Mhm.
System 2 is, relatively speaking, a much newer addition, evolutionarily.
All right.
It's inherently weaker, it needs significant energy and, conscious focus to even operate. And it gets overwhelmed really easily.
Right, I feel that.
This is the part of your brain that gets all enthusiastic and sets those ambitious New Year's resolutions.
Yep, January 1st, me.
And it's also the part that, well, for most people, unfortunately, finds itself totally defeated come February.
Yeah, guilty.
The fundamental problem, and our sources really highlight this, is that System 1 is always on. It's constantly scanning, demanding that immediate reward. System 2, though, it needs intentional effort, a lot of mental fuel.
So you can guess which one wins most of the time.
Pretty much, especially when you're tired, stressed, distracted, or just kind of running on autopilot. This fundamental imbalance, often way below our conscious radar, is constantly shaping our daily choices. Big time.
That internal battle that really helps explain something that feels super counterintuitive, something our sources brought up.
Mm-hmm.
Why so many positive behaviors, the ones we know are good for us, why they actually feel like punishment in the moment.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. Take healthy eating. The real rewards are huge, right? Sustained energy, clearer skin, better mood, maybe even a longer life. These are tangible, life-changing benefits.
Definitely.
But why don't they feel intensely rewarding right then when you're choosing, say, a plain salad over a big plate of hot fries?
Well, the big issue, as the sources emphasize, is that those amazing benefits are just invisible in the moment.
Invisible. Okay.
Your ancient brain, your system one, it simply can't see that future vitality or the prevention of some disease way down the line, not right there and then.
So what does it see?
It only registers the immediate cost. The maybe blandness of the food compared to the fries, the feeling of saying no to a really strong craving, that perceived missing out on instant pleasure.
Huh. So this invisible return on investment, what does that actually mean for how we perceive the effort we have to put in?
It means your brain's reward system, if you're looking at it from a modern well-being perspective, is almost, well, it's almost broken by design.
Broken by design, wow.
The truly beneficial behaviors, the ones that really improve our lives, they compound slowly. You don't suddenly feel amazing after just one healthy meal.
Right.
You don't become an expert after reading one book, And you certainly don't get wealthy after making one smart investment. There's this significant, often really frustrating gap between the action you take and the actual noticeable reward. Psychologists call this the valley of despair.
The valley of despair. I like that. Feels accurate.
And that's exactly where most people quit. Understandably, really, because their brain isn't getting that immediate positive feedback it craves that it's wired for. Meanwhile, your primitive system one is just constantly screaming at you to do the easier things. Things that offer immediate, undeniable payoffs. Like watching Netflix for hours, ordering that greasy takeout, or just mindlessly scrolling through Instagram. These activities give you instant dopamine hits with basically zero effort. And your brain loves them because the reward delivery is immediate and unmistakable. Can't miss it.
Okay, so if that's the, let's say, frustrating positive side,
Okay.
what about the darker side? What our sources are calling negative rewards. Let's go back to that cheeseburger example.
Right?
Eating it feels incredibly good right away. That perfect combo of fat, salt, sugar, it triggers powerful pleasure chemicals in your brain.
Hits the spot.
And this isn't about, personal weakness or lacking willpower. It's just basic biology doing its thing.
Yeah.
Optimized for a world where calories were scarce and valuable.
Exactly. And food companies know this. They spend millions figuring out how to hijack that ancient reward system, making foods maximally rewarding, instantly satisfying.
Right. But here's the kicker. What your brain just conveniently ignores: the negative compound effects.
Yeah, the slow creep.
Each seemingly small, bad choice actually makes the next bad choice a tiny bit easier. It's this subtle downward spiral.
Like gaining weight, for example.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Gaining weight reduces your energy.
Right.
Which then makes exercise feel much harder, which in turn can lead to more weight gain. It's a cycle.
A vicious one.
It's a whole series of these immediate treats that, when you add them all up, are subtly stealing from your future self. Your brain, unfortunately, calculates these immediate pleasures as a really good deal because it's just not equipped to accurately weigh those abstract, distant future costs.
That's such a crucial point. And if we connect this to, bigger picture stuff, think about something like consumer debt. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
When you buy something with a credit card or even just tap your phone, it literally feels like you're getting something for free in that moment.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The pain isn't there.
The pain of payment is delayed, maybe weeks or months away. It feels abstract, just a number on a statement later on. So your brain's reward system sees the free stuff, the new gadget, the fancy dinner, and boom, dopamine release.
Instant hit.
Instant hit for getting something now. But the actual costs, the interest piling up, the stress of those bills, the fact that you have fewer financial options down the road, those things just don't register on your brain's immediate reward radar. Not until much, much later, sometimes too late.
So it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How does this powerful drive for immediate gratification literally blind us to these huge future costs? It fundamentally changes our relationship with our money, our health, our future well-being.
Completely.
And all of this, it really boils down to a core psychological principle. Our sources call it temporal discounting.
Temporal discounting.
It's a simple idea, but really profound. The closer a reward is to an action, the more powerful and appealing it feels to your brain.
Closer equals stronger.
Exactly. Your ancient wiring is literally designed to value, say, $1 today much, much more than it values $10 a year from now. Even though, objectively, rationally, $10 is clearly the better deal long-term.
No-brainer, logically, but not biologically.
Right. And this fundamental timing mismatch, this is precisely why good habits feel so incredibly hard to build and stick with, while those destructive habits feel effortlessly easy to just fall into and keep doing.
Exactly. It becomes really stark when you compare them side by side. Think about good habits. You almost always experience the pain or the effort now, right? For benefits that only show up much later.
Like exercise.
Perfect example. Exercise. Immediate soreness, sweat, effort. But the sustained health, the strength, the energy, that comes much later, only after you've been consistent. Healthy eating involves restriction, saying no now. For improved health and vitality that you might only really feel months or years down the line.
Learning something new.
Big mental effort, frustration now. But the skills, the knowledge, the career boost, that builds over days, weeks, even years. And saving money.
Means less spending. Maybe a feeling of loss now.
Yeah.
But the wealth, the financial security, that's a distant future reward, very abstract.
Okay, now flip it. The destructive behaviors.
The pattern reverses completely. Junk food. Instant pleasure now.
Yeah.
That immediate burst of flavor, comfort, the health problems, delayed abstract consequence, way off in the future.
Social media scrolling.
Immediate entertainment, dopamine hit now, endless novelty. But the wasted time, the feeling of emptiness, maybe even anxiety, that comes later.
Impulse buying.
You get the new item, the experience now, feels great. The financial stress, the buyer's remorse, the regret often kicks in much later. And procrastination, the classic.
Yeah, yes.
That's immediate relief now. I don't have to do a difficult task. But the pressure, the stress, the missed deadlines, the worse outcome, that builds up significantly for later.
So this deeper look at temporal discounting, it just hammers home how deeply our brain is wired to grab that immediate reward, doesn't it? Totally. Even when the delayed ones are objectively, logically, demonstrably better for us in the long run, it's a genuine biological bias we're all working with or against.
So if willpower is really like this muscle that just gets tired,
Right, it does.
and our biology is so powerfully skewed towards what's right in front of us, what's the real leverage point here? What's the solution beyond just gritting our teeth and trying harder?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting. Our sources point towards something called reward engineering.
Reward engineering.
The core idea isn't about somehow magically finding more discipline. It's about systematically restructuring your environment, restructuring your choices, so that those good behaviors, the ones that actually serve your future self, start to feel immediately rewarding.
So you're flipping the script.
You're flipping the script on your brain's ancient programming. Okay, let's unpack how we actually do that. How do we engineer rewards?
Yeah, let's get practical.
The strategy, as you kind of hinted, is what some call reward stacking. We need to actively, consciously flip the script on our brain's natural tendencies. So first, make those positive actions immediately rewarding.
How? Give me an example.
Okay, so instead of just vaguely aiming for a six-pack someday, track your workouts and celebrate each completion with a small, immediate, non-food reward.
Like what?
Maybe you only allow yourself to listen to your absolute favorite podcast while you're exercising, or you give yourself 15 minutes of guilt-free video game time right after you finish. Something immediate.
Okay, linking it directly. What about food?
Find healthy foods you genuinely enjoy eating. Make the healthy choice actually pleasurable in the moment, not feel like a deprivation. This might mean spending a bit more time on meal prep or trying out new spices and recipes until you find things you actually look forward to.
Make healthy tasty. Got it. Learning.
For learning, maybe make it social or competitive. Join a study group. Use an app that gamifies your progress with points or streaks. That adds an immediate layer of engagement and fun.
Yeah. And money. Saving feels like losing.
Automate it completely. Set up transfers so money goes into savings the day you get paid. Before you even feel the loss, it just happens. Or use one of those micro savings apps that round up your purchases and sweep the change into savings. You barely notice it, but your future self definitely benefits.
That's brilliant. It's all about making the good choice the easy choice, or even the pleasurable choice right in that moment.
Exactly.
But what about the other side? How do we handle those negative actions, those really tempting immediate dopamine hits from things we know aren't good for us long term?
Right, you need to tackle those too. You need to make those negative actions immediately costly or unpleasant. You have to create immediate friction.
Friction. Okay.
Delete those addictive social media apps from your phone. Just having to go through the hassle of reinstalling them creates an immediate barrier, friction that might stop that mindless scroll.
Makes sense. What about food?
Don't keep junk food in your house. Period. If it's not there, you can't instantly grab it when System 1 screams for it. You've added the friction of having to go out and get it.
Cash versus credit.
Use cash instead of credit cards, especially for categories where you tend to impulse buy. The physical act of handing over actual money creates an immediate, tangible sense of loss that swiping a card just doesn't have.
True. Accountability.
Set up accountability systems with real, immediate consequences. Not just vague, I'll feel bad later. Maybe you literally have to pay a friend or donate to a cause you dislike if you miss a workout or a deadline. Or you have to do an unpleasant chore.
Ouch. But effective?
The objective is crystal clear. Flip the reward timing. Make good choices feel good now. Make bad choices feel bad now. Add friction to the bad. Remove friction from the good.
This really brings us to that idea that your environment beats motivation, doesn't it? It's such a powerful, almost liberating concept.
It really is.
I remember reading about that crazy study with movie theater popcorn.
Oh, yeah, the popcorn study?
Yeah.
Classic.
People ate just as much stale, old popcorn as they did fresh popcorn, if it was served in one of those ridiculously big containers.
Hmm. The container size drove the eating, not the taste.
Exactly. The environmental cue, the giant bucket, mattered more than the actual quality or taste of the food. It just highlights perfectly why changing your environment is so much more powerful than just trying to change your mindset or rely on sheer willpower.
Absolutely.
Your surroundings are constantly programming you, often totally unconsciously.
Yeah.
It's like trying to paddle upstream in a really strong current versus just turning your boat around and going with it.
That popcorn study is the perfect illustration. Your environment literally programs your reward system, which means you need to design it intentionally, like an engineer designs a bridge or a circuit for maximum efficiency and safety.
Be an environmental engineer for your brain.
Pretty much. Think about it. If you want to read more, don't just intend to read more. Put books everywhere, on your nightstand, coffee table, near the TV. Make them unavoidable. And maybe hide the TV remote or unplug the darn thing.
Create friction for the TV, ease for the books.
Exactly. Want to eat better? Don't just try to resist cravings when your pantry is full of junk. Fill your kitchen with only healthy food. Make the unhealthy option impossible, or at least extremely difficult, to access in that moment of weakness.
Exercise.
Sleep in your workout clothes. Seriously, it removes that first barrier in the morning, makes getting out the door almost effortless.
Want to save money.
We talked about automation. Set up those automatic transfers to your savings or investment account the day you get paid. The money's gone, working for your future self, before your System 1 even sees it and thinks about spending it. What's truly fascinating here, the big takeaway, is how your environment programs your reward system. You absolutely have to become a proactive designer of your surroundings to serve your long-term goals. Remove the cues for bad habits, make the cues for good habits overwhelming.
So when you really put these two big ideas together, the critical timing of rewards, how immediate they need to feel, and the huge power of your engineered environment, you start to see this incredible compound effect of reward systems taking shape.
It becomes really clear.
It shows how tiny, seemingly insignificant differences in how your brain gets its rewards, how those little differences can create massive, almost unbelievable gaps in life outcomes over time.
It's the small hinges swinging big doors.
Yeah. The person who consistently engineers their life so they get that little dopamine hit from learning something new or ticking off a workout or making a healthy meal, that compounds.
Yeah.
It compounds into expertise, into fitness, into genuine well-being over years.
Right. And the flip side.
The person who consistently gets that immediate dopamine hit from, say, mindless entertainment or sugary snacks or impulse shopping, that compounds too, but it compounds into mediocrity. Maybe poor health, missed opportunities. And often they don't even realize why their life isn't changing, why they feel stuck.
That's the core message, really, the thing we want to leave you thinking about. Your current reward system right now, today, is actively creating your future self. Every single moment.
Wow.
If you are consistently rewarding instant gratification, maybe without even realizing it, you are literally training yourself, reinforcing the pathways for a life that prioritizes those immediate, often kind of shallow pleasures and short-term wins.
And conversely.
Conversely, if you manage to consciously engineer your environment, engineer your choices, to reward delayed gratification, even using these tricks to make it feel good, now you are actively training yourself for long-term success, for deeper fulfillment, for a truly compounded life.
But most people don't do this analysis.
Most people, frankly, never really stop to examine what they are actually rewarding in their daily lives. What actions are getting those dopamine hits? Then they wonder why their lives don't seem to change, why they feel stuck despite having big dreams or making resolutions. They keep feeding the exact same reward patterns that got them where they are in the first place. It explains why we get trapped in these cycles we can't seem to break.
So the bottom line then, the big takeaway from all this is what?
It's this. Your brain will always, always choose the immediate reward over the delayed one, that's its default programming, unless you actively, consciously engineer a different system for it to operate within.
So success isn't really about more discipline.
The people who genuinely succeed long-term, who build those healthy habits, achieve the big goals. They aren't necessarily more disciplined or have some kind of superhuman willpower. They're just better engineers.
Better engineers of their own reward systems.
Exactly. They've built environments, they've created systems and stacked rewards so that the good choices feel immediately rewarding or at least less painful. And conversely, they've made the bad choices feel immediately costly or difficult or uncomfortable.
So the final thought is,
Stop fighting your biology. Seriously. It's a battle you're probably not equipped to win consistently in the long run, just through sheer force of will.
So what should we do instead?
Start designing around it.
Yeah.
Become that engineer. Because your reward system is either working for you, pushing you towards your goals, or it's working against you, holding you back. There's really no neutral ground here. It's never just off,
Always active.
always active. You are constantly programming it, whether you mean to or not. So choose wisely how you set it up.